The beauty that is Africa is that our forefathers, 822 years ago, set up a throne for a woman. That the woman will have her palace and her chiefs and attendants, and the woman will be the spiritual guide. Is it not unique? 822 years ago, yet it's only 100 years ago that the Western world started women inclusion. What truncated the development of women in Africa, in Nigeria, Igbo land, and Anioma is the coming of the Europeans. The Europeans came with their ideology and told our people that ours is bad. And so our people did wholesale acceptance of foreign ideas.
Igbo women are admired all over the country and all over the world for their strength, their courage, hard work, and beauty. There are very few Igbo women who are not economically active. We work hard to support our husbands, fathers, and brothers whilst raising our children to be good citizens of our country, Nigeria. But our communities and our country are facing myriad problems at this time. Women can be forceful peace builders, so there is a role you can play working with our leaders in the Southeast to help talk to our sons to be peace-loving and to avoid security problems that hamper our economic development.
Our ancestors, as at 1,000 years ago or more, have instituted a leadership system that recognizes the role of women in leadership. Because our ancestors understood fully that there are things you cannot do properly as a man, and the topic concerns women. They allow women to legislate and take care of functions that are meant for women. So we have these systems of leadership that recognizes women in our Omu political system. We have it in our Ada leadership system. And all these things are aspects of Igbo culture that should be promoted and celebrated.
Our forefathers saw women as complementary, meaning that our forefathers were women-friendly. In their wisdom, the wise old men set up this institution and said that in every Anioma community, there has to be a traditional ruler who is in charge of men, male youths, and the land. There has to be an Omu who is the mother. She's in charge of women, female youths, and the custodian of the market. More importantly, our forefathers gave the spiritual guidance of the community to the Omu, and we sought to find out why did our forefathers do that. And research showed again that our forefathers felt that a man reasons in a straitjacket form, and a woman reasons in multiple ways. Anyị amajiji ifele, anyị Nigeria amajiji ifele, anyị Edo State amajiji ifele, anyị Delta State amajiji ifele, anyị Igbo niile amajiji ifele, anyị ọma niile amajiji ifele, anyị ọgbana ma. The Omu at the point of coronation is bestowed male rights. She becomes a man and a woman put together. That's why you hold the elephant tusk. Ordinarily, a woman does not hold elephant tusk. That's where you wear the red cap. That's where you have the feathers, which no other woman wears except the Omu, because now as the Omu, they have bestowed you male rights. Ani menye ofuma ani onye bia ko wanyali ka anyi wanyala ani anyi bia ndozi ka anyi bia anya bia hom bibi. Onye dozi ani ani edozi e. Anyi bu ndi Omu anyi bia ga edozi ani ka ani dozi anyi. Obodo ni na anyi si bia o dozi anyi. Sincerely speaking, when you become the Omu, you don't have friends anymore. You don't have family anymore, because your family, first of all, leaves you because of the nature of the institution. People are afraid of the institution. For example, when I became the Omu, some were genuinely worried because of the intricacies and the spiritual angle. Some were convinced that in 9 months I would die because I might not be able to keep to the rules of tendering to the shrines, of the do's and the don'ts. Some said she's too Western. The same people are saying now she's too conservative, right? Yeah, but no jiwo naka bo jibe now you see it. The kola nut is 4. And the native week is 4 days. You see it? There are 2 kola nuts here. You see that? It's 4. This is female. This is male. This is twins. So there are 3 males here and twins. Isn't that wonderful? Ogadilo no anyemma. Animba ani bonyoshi ani weloji. Nwanna ani weloji. Anioma weloji. Ani Igbo niile weloji. So there are a lot of challenges. One is the fact that Omos are not paid. Our forefathers kept the markets for the Omu to get her livelihood. But the local governments are in the market collecting revenue. So who will feed the Omu? Who will clothe her? Who will take care of her when she's sick? The palace you're seeing is my personal property. And that was because for 38 years I came back, I was in business. If you look at the photograph there, that will show you parts of what my life was like. I explored my life in Nigeria. I explored my life in England. I explored my life in America. I lived life to the fullest. In traditional worship, we make the door to be low so that you must bend to God. Human beings are too arrogant. That's why we make the door to be low. I am a queen of the water, ordained in the water. I went to the water to perform the rites. That's why I have this temple. This side is the waters of Anioma, the spirit of Anioma nation. These are the waters of Anioma, the representation of the water of Anioma. On the left-hand side is the waters of Edo State, because when I became Omu, I was in Edo State. So we are calling on the spirit of the water. Modi Anioma, Milidi Anioma, Milidi Aniobio, Milidi Aniobash, Milidi Aniobanam, Milidi Anibini. 70% of the Omu's work is spiritual. 10% is to look after women. 10% is to look after the markets. Another 10% is to settle issues. Example, in my community, over 10 years ago, everywhere was burning. Houses were burnt, 3 people were killed, and the men could not handle it. And the traditional ruler called me and said, "Can you bring a woman's touch to it?" And I did. And I separated all the villages, the boundaries causing issue. Today, no village is fighting the other because of boundary. When you fight light, what do you get? The light remains where it is. It is the darkness that will go round and come back to light. There is nothing to fight, because every day I'm in the temple, I'm busy praying to God and the ancestors. I must do it the way God Almighty wants me to do it, the way our ancestors want me to do it. I can't be gagged by anyone. I cannot be trampled upon. But I will say there was a point where I was seriously challenged that I started thinking of the impossible. The impossible is leaving the throne. But not that I regret ever becoming the... How can you regret when God gives you an assignment? You can't regret it. In fact, it's abomination to regret. It's a sin, because God will even punish you.